your end? I mean, for me, positive energy, high spirit, because I'm optimistic about this new week. And I'm looking forward to everything good that this week is going to bring. Yeah, there are going to be ups and downs. Yeah, right. But I mean, we stay positive, we stay focused on the things that we want to see. And that's what we call having a positive mindset. And the law of attraction just gives you exactly what you're looking out for. And that's what I'm trusting in this morning. The phone lines are open 07000 or you can send us a text or a WhatsApp message on 070 to be a part of the conversation this morning right here on Panorama. You can listen live via the website www.wfm917.com. Download the mobile app to listen live, WFM 917. So, going into conversations this morning, but we have our ladies get to join us this morning. Have you seen this particular video of the Senate President, Senator Akpabio, talking to a fellow lawmaker, Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduagan? I saw this particular video where he was talking to her. Um, there was ongoing conversations at plenary in the house, and she stood up to make a comment. Then he noted that in the chamber you have to be recognized before we speak. Yes, which is something that, yes, you should be recognized before you speak, but having to go ahead, he went ahead in his comment and he noted, you are not, or we are not in a nightclub. Now, this one has sparked a lot of reactions from so many people because, first off, you cannot outrightly tell a fellow lawmaker that in the house. Now, this is it. When this you're speaking to a woman, you're speaking to a female lawmaker. When you say, "Oh, we're not in a nightclub," it tastes of a lot of you can attribute this to so many things, and of course a lot of women are not having it funny, because I didn't find it funny at all. Because if we're talking to a man, if we're speaking to a man, you definitely would not be saying we're not in the nightclub. So this one is the first conversation that we're going to be having this morning, and we have Buki Femi Ajala joining us. Hi Buki, good morning, how are you doing today?
Yeah, good morning. Can you hear me? Good
Yes, I can
morning.
hear you clearly. Good morning Buki, how are you doing?
God, yeah, morning. It's a lovely Monday.
And thanks for coming
Yeah,
forward.
book is doing
What are you up to
fine.
today?
Book is fine. Yeah, book is doing fine. So, good morning, Panorama family. How are you also doing?
I'm doing great. We're
Beautiful
doing
head.
fine.
Mm.
We're doing good. So before you came on, I was just talking about, yes.
This is right. Oh, wow. Such a long time that we've had Esther's voice.
Right. I mean, there's just so
Nice
much. I
to
mean,
have you. So,
there's so much here
yeah.
and there, but trust me, I'm back. I'm back like I never
What
left.
happened to you, right? Where is Miracle?
Miracle is just somewhere in the
Because
background saying hello.
you want Miracle. So Miracle no dey tire Jesus. So
Right,
all
I
right.
know. I know.
Morning,
And just in
uh,
time, we have Ibnabo Dixon joining us. Thank you very much, Buki. Good morning, Ibnabo. How are you doing?
Good morning, Esther Larry. Your voice now we dey collect visa, dey queue, dey hear am.
No mind you now.
You're
I won't be
welcome.
carried
You're
away with the house.
welcome.
Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
good morning, Boki Femi Ajala, and good morning to all our valued listeners. Esther, it's good to
amen.
have you on Panorama again.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. Thank you, ladies. And before you joined us, I was just talking about the comment of our dear Senate President talking to a fellow lawmaker, Senator Natasha Koti Uduagan, in the House during an ongoing plenary. He made comments, there were conversations ongoing, and she was going to interject. Yes, rules of the House, you have to be recognized before you go ahead and make your comment. But the following comments that he made about not being in a nightclub is what has sparked a lot of outrage and people having to talk about how these are the issues that women have in the political space. Because when men speak to women who are in the political space this way, it sends all of the wrong messages. I mean, that message or that comment wasn't well thought out. And again, as a man is, so his speech definitely will be. And this one, a coalition of women under the aegis of Who Manifesto are having to condemn the condescending manner in which the Senate President, Senator Akpabio, addresses female senators, and also demand that he makes an apology, also having to note that it is this kind of trend that fosters gender discrimination and verbal harassment in political spaces. And I think just recently also there was also some comment around what something he said on the FCT Senator Iriti Kingibe as well. We've been seeing pockets of these different kind of comments, but now we need to address this because this looks like a direct attack on Senator Natasha's personality. And if we ignore this one, you ignore that of Senator Iriti, it might just be somebody else tomorrow, and this will just go ahead and it continues to happen. Buki, what do you say to this?
You said it all. You said it all, because looking at the whole packaging and the fact that we know, we might not have all the statistics because we don't know all the statements he made, but the ones that actually come out, you know that he is not too good in communication, because when you want to communicate, there are seven C's, that you have to communicate with, and you also have to know, if I say A, will the person, I mean, when I say A for apple, will that person understand it as A for apple, or is going to be A for aeroplane, which has to do with a whole lot of things, how you deliver it, your tone, your body language, the essence of the statement, and then of course even the person who is receiving, there's something called noise in between you and that person. Will the person interpret it the way it is? So all that has to be in consideration, and I want to believe that when they were coming in, they normally do they normally do, what do you call it, when you bring people into an office, induction. This is not even his first time, in the Senate House. So I will have expected that he will know how to speak, because looking at it, to be honest, that is not a good one. Honestly, that is really, really not a good one. To say that we are not in the nightclub. How did the nightclub get into a serious,
How did you even get there?
into the mind of somebody who is talking about great things. You understand? It's a nightclub. Yes, we know that she did not go by the rules. You understand? Yeah, we know that. And immediately, if you look at the video, she apologized and she sat. You understand? And I would have expected that they will, I mean, after the correction,
Okay.
they would have expected her, to say, okay, please go ahead. You understand? Go ahead. How many senators do we have that are female in this house, that they will not even see, that opportunity that a woman is speaking as a golden opportunity? We're not saying that they should treat us with one egg treatment, but that when we want to speak, they should listen. They should listen. And of course, what they were about to do, I don't know why she did not come up with that thought. You understand? Because let us balance it as well. Because I know there is a process. There is a process. So I don't know why she did not bring up the issue. You understand? So what is it that it was when they were now, what we are voting or whatever it is that she had to do? But in fact, I also believe that even with that, there must also be a way that she should have come in. So so let's balance it up, because I know some men will say, okay, is it because a woman so you can talk anyhow? We have balanced it, that she also ought to have done the needful. Well, she actually apologized,
Yes, she
you
did.
know, but then, of course she did. She apologized and she sat down. But then, why must you now equate it that we are not in a nightclub? I mean, the thought, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. That is what the Bible tells us. And it's true. It is what is in your heart that you speak. I do not know how a nightclub, I do not know. Hello, are you still there?
Yes, I am. I am.
No. So I'm wrapping up now. I do not know how the thought of a nightclub will stream in, when you are talking about serious issues. And the mere fact that a woman spoke, and the next thing is we are not in a nightclub. You did not even think of something else entirely. It was just a nightclub. And then even, are you not even saying that women that go to a nightclub, they don't, they are barbarians. They don't honor boundaries. They don't know what the etiquette or the rules of the house is. You understand? So we can look at it from all different angles. Well, I love the fact that the coalition of women have spoken, and I'm looking at that he should come out to apologize. And it's not just about the apology, but whoever is brand manager or whoever, I don't know how that thing works, but they should train him, train not just him alone, but even others on how to communicate. We're talking about the
Yeah.
number three person in Nigeria, and you're saying we're not in a nightclub. For what? Somebody just made a simple mistake, right? You might say it's not a simple mistake because these ones are lawmakers, right? But it was an issue that something was burning in her, and she said, "Oh, hold on. We want to we want to look at an amendment before you begin to put your yay or your nay about
Mm-hmm,
it."
mm-hmm.
You, so, but then we women as well, we also have to talk to ourselves that
Okay.
let us also comport ourselves in such a manner that things will not be thrown at us, particularly when you are in offices, so let's earn the respect. But bottom line, what he said was not right at all. We demand an apology, female folks, even those who go to nightclubs, they should also talk. Are you saying that we don't get sense? That we cannot talk? You understand? I mean, in all ramifications, it's wrong. Like Yoruba will say, "Nkan tí ò dáa ò dáa," you know. Then is this same senator that said let the women let the poor breathe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you could see that he has a mindset that it's from the mindset that these voices, they are being they are uttered, which still boils down on what is in the heart of the man. It will spill out with the way you talk. Thank you.
True. All right. Thank you very much, Buki. The phone lines are open 07000 or you can send us a text or a WhatsApp message on 07031756537. Ibn Abba, what do you think about this one? And looking at that video again, after the Senate president made their comments, there were some other lawmakers who were there shining their 32 like it was something that was funny or something that should be laughed about. Also, I also think that I don't know personally as an individual, I get to experience something called secondhand embarrassment. If something is happening to somebody, somebody's doing something, I'm like, this thing is cringy. Why are you doing this? But they were just there laughing. Now, I know that Senator Natasha probably would want to put herself together and come back and say, okay, I apologize, but I still want to take my comments. But those other ones laughing in the background, the other lawmakers, it wouldn't have been any easier for her to come back with her comment again and go ahead talking. And besides, this is one house that we've seen how female lawmakers who attempt to speak are being treated. I mean, how many women do we even have in this house that we're always having to address issues about how they're being spoken to in the house?
Okay. Thank you, Esther.
Mm,
You see, there's this very bad habit amongst our male senators not just this 10th assembly, even the past ones. There was this Senator Olujimi from, I think, is she from Ondo
Ekiti, I
State
think so.
or
Senator
Ekiti State now? I can't really.
Biodun.
Yes, she came up with. She was trying to, project something on the floor, and most of them got up and were saying things. And in her case, there were some men who stood by her to support what she was trying to, propound. And on the floor, such men were addressed as Mijinaja, that is woman rapper. Do you understand? So you see, the question is, one should begin to wonder the mindset of the people we put in the upper house as senators. Well, having said that, let's speak truth to the situation on ground, and that is, of course, there is code of conduct in the upper house, which Senator Natasha Akpoti flouted. However, like has been mentioned, the response of Senate President was rather derogatory. And when you say we're not in a clubhouse, what does that even connote? Because okay, we also know that their code of conduct is most likely, underpinned by some fundamental principles, which even the Senate President himself probably, that is putting it like that, flouted. So you do not correct an erring person by erring yourself. Somebody is wrong, and you are trying to correct that wrong by being wrong yourself. So what makes you different than that person? Now, you see, playing the chauvinistic card is primordial. We know, but it is no longer acceptable. And the handwriting is written on the wall for everyone to see that you cannot continue to derogate the woman. You cannot continue to make such pejorative statements about a woman. As you were elected, she was elected. The difference is that in a gathering, there has to be a leader. That is why Senator Akpabio is the new president. Not because they elected him in a special way into that house. No. Every senator was elected, whichever way they were elected, as far as I'm concerned, by their people. So you being the Senate president is just a privilege. You can't keep using that office to speak without putting some caution into whatever you're saying. Now, what came to my mind was that if you're talking about you want to liken Senator Akpoti's, how she responded without following due protocol, you understand, to somebody who's talking in a nightclub. The question is, Olga, how did you become so familiar with the mannerisms obtainable in nightclub houses? Bros, you bless say they go there where so you're familiar. Sometimes some people say some things. Yeah. You should just begin to believe that everybody will just reason like you. There are some of us who would begin to dissect what you have said, and we're able to pull out some things about you, about your character, that speaks to your character from what you have said. Oga probably is a regular customer of nightclubs. I don't know. I'm just thinking, because I can't tell you how an average Chinese in China would behave, because I don't live with them. I don't hang around Chinese, so I'm not very familiar with their mannerisms. So for our dear Mr. Senate President to be so very familiar, he didn't have to think twice. He didn't have to take a while to reason it. It was impromptu on his part. That hey, you did not follow due process. Hey. Stop talking like a club, like we're in a clubhouse. So I think the way Natasha Akpoti, Senator, responded in the House reminded him of the ladies he probably, I don't know, I'm just thinking, because something would make you, if you make a statement now, Esther, before I would liken how you have made that statement to some set of people,
Exactly, something I'm
and
trying.
I must be familiar with their ways and with their conduct. So is it that our dear Mr. Senate President is so familiar with nightclub ladies and their unchecked way of saying, of talking and behaving, that he was so quick to liken the way Natasha Akpoti interrupted to night club women? Anyway, I haven't said all of that. You see, it is long overdue for the Senate President to be called to caution. Generally, he is in the habit of making pejorative statements, even when addressing issues affecting the less privileged Nigerians, whose bidding he should be doing in the House. The other time he said, let the poor breed. Thank God that he's a rich man, so let the poor breed, which is not fair. It is not right. The other time, which I totally support, Senator Ali Ndume, who was the erstwhile chief whip of the 10th Assembly, he made a statement that was very pejorative on Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that the president has been caged by some group of persons. And it was like, okay, what are you saying? Are you saying that our president does not even know what is going on? Are you saying that our president is such a kind of person that I wouldn't want to use an adjective here, that that people will just cage him? Do you know what I mean? Because of the pejorative nature of that statement, very denigrating, they had to remove him from that office of being the chief whip. The other time, a particular senator from the north as well made a statement. I can't really recall the statement now. He was suspended and he was brought back into the upper chamber after his apologies and all of that. So if it is bad for people to keep, running their mouth rough in the house, in the upper house, then I think it is high time somebody, calls Mr. President, Mr. Senate President, to caution, to order. You have to let decorum reign, because if you are the leader and you don't weigh your words before you spill them out, then you are laying bad examples for people like Natasha Akpoti, that anything works here. Anybody can talk anyhow. Anybody can interrupt anyhow. I mean, decorum has been hung somewhere. It's not here. It's not in the house here. That is what it just played out for me when I saw the video. That, oh, okay, as usual, no decorum. So if you want to caution anyone who has erred, who has broken who has broken the rule guiding the house, you caution the person within the ambit of such rules, not by speaking, derogatorily to somebody. Esther, we need to stick to the values and rules of engagement wherever we find ourselves. It speaks volume about our character. While we caution other people, we need to show the people around that we are not even as bad or even worse than the person you are cautioning. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Ibn Abo. Thank you, Buki, as well, for your comment. Well, we'll see how the Senate President is going to be responding to the women groups on this particular one. That is, if they're going to be getting any response. But the message has been passed. Apply decorum in your comments, in the way you get to address the female senators in the House and Nigerians generally. That's just what we're asking for. 29 minutes to 10 on your Women Radio 91.7, and this is Panorama. Panorama is where we have the ladies from different geopolitical zones come together to discuss, accept, and disagree on topical issues. My name is Esther Alaribian. This morning I have been speaking with Ibn Abo Dixon and Buki Femi Ajala. The phone lines 07000 or you can send us a text or a WhatsApp message on 070 So this next story we're going to be taking. This one is a case of a woman. This woman earns over ₦1 million monthly from her job, while the husband earns about 150,000 naira. First, I'm just thinking like this pay gap is very, very wide. But again, I mean, love makes you do so many funny things. Love is blind, so they say, but now you don't see road. But this comment, this particular one we're looking at, this one says, this woman foots most of the bills because she earns higher. The family of this man is aware that she makes all of the heavy contributions in the family. However, However, on very basic things that this man can do, her birthday, anything that concerns her, the man doesn't care, he doesn't do anything. But when it comes to his family members, he's always there, he's always willing to do stuff for himself, do for his mother. But when it comes to the woman, he just assumes that, oh, yes, you have all of the money, you can sort this out. Some people might attribute this to maybe jealousy. Some people might say is, oh, I wish it's an I wish I was the one syndrome. Or maybe he just thinks, oh, you have everything covered. And this one, when I saw this particular one, it was interesting to me because over the weekend I was talking to somebody about how finances in the home can actually make or mar how this home front will be like, because women get to contribute in different areas in the home, but we do not necessarily hear them talk about them because it's just you contributing here and there. But in this case, even the man's family knows that she's the one footing all of the bills, but this man just seems very, very nonchalant, and she doesn't want to leave him so that the family doesn't end up saying, hey, it is because you have money more than our son, that's why you are leaving. You don't want to be controlled, you don't want to be, and all of that. But she's staying there, but she's not happy, Bookie.
I can relate because I'd seen a family, go through that kind of experience, and it was really, really bad, that they had to seek help, with a counselor. And bottom line was the fact that there has to be the means of communication. What in their own case it was like, well, you have not even discussed this with him, and at the end of the day, in their own case, I would not say it goes for everybody. So please, because they went through counseling, and there's a way this counseling works. It breaks it down until you really get to the bottom of the solution. So in their own case, found out that the man, it turned out that the man, was raised by a woman, so he had seen, women rise up, to do all these things. So for him, it was more like, okay, in your subconscious mind that, oh, okay, I didn't know you had to have some extra way of appreciating, So, I mean, so the therapy had helped them, and things are better now, so from both sides, yeah, yeah. So it's better for them. So what am I saying? Number one, we cannot talk generally because we do not even know what works for them, who they are, where they're coming from, and all that. But yeah, we can also talk generally as well, So we just try to balance things up. But one thing I want to say as a woman, even if the woman is not the breadwinner, as long as you're a woman, women love to be appreciated. And that's the way we are. Just as men also love to be appreciated. We as human beings, we love, for someone to say thank you. I mean, it's our culture also, and it helps us. It's therapeutic for us, when you know that somebody appreciates you. Then now go about that she's the one that is the breadwinner because she earns more. We don't know the kind of job, but these things do happen now, particularly in the tech space. You understand?
Yeah.
If you are dollars, these things happen. So nobody should say, can that happen? Oh, yes,
Oh
it
yes,
can
it can.
happen. I can tell you for free now, yeah. So the question is, in such instance, what do we expect the man to do? We expect the man, now I'm talking as a woman now, we expect the man to appreciate the woman. So you need to understand the love language of your woman. There are women who just love to say, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. There are women, I mean, little gifts. You are earning 150. Nothing stops you from saying, okay, you know what? The bread in the house, I will buy the toothpaste, I will buy. And then when you are coming anytime when you have your salary or when you have some spare change with you, nothing stops you from even planning to buy things that she loves, that she uses almost every day. Maybe her a perfume or probably that she uses every day. That it will not amount to something that you will break your neck for. That she herself will know that you actually appreciated her. So it's also good that you know the love language. There are some it just help me around the house. You understand? But generally, we women love to be appreciated, more so if we are the one bearing the burden. Because by design, we are to support, we are not to bear the whole burden, and you are there. You understand? And the other angle now, as I want to wrap up, the other angle is the fact that his family, they are aware.
Yeah.
But in our own family, she has been able to keep it
Mm.
because immediately her family gets to know, oh, they're coming after her to say you are stupid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But on the general surface, you also have to read between the lines. If the family knows and they are not even correcting their son, that on the day of your birthday, not even a card, not even something worth 10,000 that you have been saving for the past 1 year, because you know that her birthday comes once a year, or even on your wedding anniversary, even take her out, maybe to a new restaurant that you have been saving for. That shows a whole lot. It's a red flag. I must face the brutal fact. It's a red flag. And for her, I just hope that she also have her own savings somewhere, so that it will not happen one day and she's now sitting down and she's now regretting that all my life I slaved for him, I
Mm-hmm.
slaved for family. I beg, shine your eye. You should have a personal savings. You should know exactly what you do, because you see these things can get you to a point where you are just tired and you can reiterate. Already, she's already thinking that, and I cannot leave her, or whatever it is. God forbid, if that man starts beating, you will not leave. You will leave. Let anybody say anything you want to do. But for now, what is my advice? What is my advice? If you can seek help with a counselor, they will be able to drill down, particularly the mindset of the man, and also even for the lady herself. How do I balance up? There are times that even men do not even understand these things. They don't even understand what is happening to them. And as a woman, you could say, oh, you are not even saying thank you to me for doing these things. You understand? There must be a way of you communicating that. And then, of course, to see how both of them to work together. If the love is still there, why not? They can work it out. They can work it out. But men, please appreciate women. Appreciate women, even if they are not the breadwinner. More so now that is the breadwinner doing everything. You need to understand the love language of the woman and appreciate her. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Vicky. The phone lines 07000 or you can send us a text or a WhatsApp message on 07031756537. I mean, the different sides to look at in this particular one really are ignore when we get to look at it. She's been able to conceal this from her family members. Of course, I mean, when he gets to find out that this is what I mean, they're going to be like, are you okay? Are you fine? What's going on? They're definitely going to be concerned for you. But his family isn't saying anything because their son is at the receiving end and everything is going all rosy. But these are like very basic thing. How do you say you don't remember your wife's birthday? I can understand. Like I've heard men complain about how their wives are not coming forth with like the basic things when they are paying all of the big bills. So for a woman to be doing all of that, of course, I expect like even if I was the savior, I would expect a certain level of I see what you are doing from you. But you being nonchalant about it, nah, I'm going to take all of my money from it. I'm sorry. It's been a ball.
You see? Okay, so let's go like this. There is no human being in this world, if all things are equal with you, if you, I mean, mentally, who does not appreciate good gestures. It is natural. Even as a dog, an animal, a dog, you're not the owner of that dog, but you continue to show this dog a lot of love. Each time the dog sees you, it will wriggle its tail, showing, affection in return, let alone a human being. Having said that, you see, uh, parents should be very careful, because let your case not be like the case of Haman of the Bible, who dug a pit for somebody, and eventually he ended up being swallowed by that pit. Out of jealousy and envy, the kind of advice some parents give to their sons who are married, one day this advice would work against you. Now, what are we saying? His family is aware, her own family is not. That speaks volume about this lady, that she's doing everything to protect the integrity, the respect, and everything of her husband. If that is not big enough for this husband's mother, her mother-in-law, to appreciate her, then it is a complete package of shame on the part of the in-laws. Now, her husband does not even acknowledge nor gift her at least a card on her birthday. If that is a habit in the house, she wouldn't feel bad about it. She would say, my husband, the sabi, if his own birthday, I know the sabi. So you know this is who he is. So if you really want that attention from him, you have to put it to him. My birthday come now, you understand? It's like, let me digress a little bit. There's this lady. If you tell her anything about yourself, thinking that you are confident in her, forget. She'll be public announcer. She will spread it, because even her own stories,
she tells it.
I'm not safe with her. Let me know your own story. Okay. So such a person, if you go and confide in that person, I blame you, because you know that this is how the person, her own story itself, she did talk how much more your own. But this is a man who obviously, from the story, is not the type of person who doesn't care for his people. And then it comes to your wife's birthday. Who doesn't remember people's birthday? So having said all of that, what I always tell people is that you drive a good woman crazy if you do not treat her like a lady. A man, a husband, if you feel because she's not complaining or she's keeping quiet, if you don't treat her like a good woman, like a lady, you're going to drive her crazy. And when she goes crazy, you go here. And always be mindful of who is at the dining and what's on the menu. Ladies, ladies, make una coda, make una decoder. Be mindful of who is at the dining with you and what is on the menu. When I don't go serve you, waiting go give you ulcer. Not the only one you know chop, now you go get ulcer. Sometimes if you eat the wrong food, it is so hot to the stomach that you end up with ulcer. There's this thing we call marital schism, which is, it pertains to, the opposition between spouses. The mother-in-law if she was a good woman, she'll be the one to breach this. Because it's a gap. It's a misconception going on between this couple. And you are the one who will step in and do the needful. And you doing the needful means you love your son. Esther, I love my sons. And I want them when they are married, I want them to be happy. So happy that it will be, you will see it on them. So what about what make them happy? If it's come from the woman, how do I sort it out? I'm going to bring her to myself like my daughter. Because if she loves me, she wouldn't want to hurt me, thereby not hurting her husband. Even when her husband has done something that would really drive her crazy, she will tell herself, I need to talk with my mother-in-law because I know that she will be very fair and just. So are you that kind of a mother-in-law? If you are not, learn to be. Because you are busy being jealous of your daughter-in-law's progress. You will not see things the way they are, let alone providing the right solution to it. She's not supposed to go on like this. It's taking, her taking up all of the responsibility is supposed to be a stopgap in every marriage, in every home. Because you marry a lady, she removed her father's name and put your own name there. You know what that means? So you should be responsible for her. When some people come out and say, when men are doing it, nobody is giving them accolade, nobody is giving them thumbs up. Now when a woman is doing it, everybody will be complaining. Excuse you? I beg, may not stop, may not bar break.
All right. Thank you very much, Ibinabo. Thank you very much. 12 minutes to 10 on your Women Radio 91.7. And this is still Panorama, where we have ladies from different geopolitical zones come together to discuss topical issues. My name is Esther Lariben. I still have with me Ibinabo Dixon and Buki Femi Ajala. Now, Buki, let's take it to away from marriage. Let's take it to relationships, courtship before marriage. I've heard people say things like, oh, ladies of nowadays, they don't want to struggle with you. They don't want to work with you. They don't want to build with you because they want like an already made man. However, there's some women who are also having to contribute their quota in having to build with a man, say in courtship, relationship, or whatever. But to what extent do you say to this lady, I think you're doing too much already? I think you need to calm down because you're not doing that. Because when you keep doing this thing, some men actually see you as maybe you're just desperate for me to marry you. That's why you're doing all of these things. And you keep funding this relationship or funding whatever. Because I've heard some people say they paid for fees for their partners certifications and all of that. You end up paying so much, you pick up so much bills. Some men really, when things get better and they're able to sort out their employment issues with these certifications, they remember to pay back, but some don't. So at what point do you tell this lady, hey, single lady, you're doing too much, calm down?
Okay, so let's look at the fundamentals.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong in you helping a friend. Because number one, even when you're in a relationship, you have friends. It's just that the category of friendship is a bit higher, right? And you do not know until the person actually marries you. Even engagements, they even break up engagements. I'm talking about traditional engagements. You understand? So until that person marries you, either legally or whatever you want to do, fine. But if you want to go the traditional way, yes, the traditional marriage is the marriage. So what am I saying now is that principle number one, why are you doing this? Why are you offering to help? Is it because the person is your friend? Or is it the person is somebody that you are hoping this will end up in marriage, right? Because you are in a relationship. Relationships can break anytime. You don't even know if it's a false relationship or maybe it's a good relationship that there is so much truth in it. Because we've also seen some relationships that it started well, both of them were committed, but along the way, something happened. And there are many things that can happen. And at the end of the day, you end up now regretting that, oh, and I have spent so much. Oh, I have furnished this house. oh, I added I had a lump sum of money to when he wanted to buy his car, and then he now start regretting. Why? Because when you are doing that, you are hoping that this will end up in marriage. But if you actually do this because, hey, you first see him or her as a friend. Okay, so let's talk about the fact that it's a woman to a man now. So you have just seen him as a friend and you want to help for the betterment of his life. So even if anything happens, you're okay. Don't we have friends? And at the end of the day, even the friends, you don't even get anything from them.
True.
So what am I saying? I am saying that can we begin to change our mindset? Yes, in those days when commitments were still honored, when we had genuine love, we have women that will go outside of their comfort zone, to ensure that the men are happy. Maybe add to their house rent, like you said, help them with their certification, all kinds of funny things that we do as women. But then we didn't really have so much statistics as to the fact that at the end of the day, the man will not marry the woman anymore. We didn't have so much in terms of the numbers. But now we've got to shine our eye. We've got to rework the maths again to be sure that these things do not work. My money, as long as we are not married, stays with me. If I want to help you, I will help you as a friend. So I'm talking about mindset now. So that will actually limit you. And if you now want to give so much money, like you said, nothing stops you from saying, you know what, I'm going to give you as a loan. I'm going to pay me back. That does not mean that she does not love you. So when you begin to see that she does not love you, then that means you just want to come and chop her money. And that is not right. You should also have your own grace level, your own respect level. A woman gave you 2 million, right? So you just want to chop it like that? You've got to pay her back. Even if she says, oh, don't worry, you've got to pay her back. So, but like I said, in wrapping up, foundationally as friends, we are supposed to help one another. And if you're in a relationship, see that as that. But do not do things because you hope that this will end up in marriage. And why don't you just wait? Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Buki. Thank you very much, Ibinabo, for your time on the show this morning. Really, I mean, when women get to tell you about some of the other things that they do, and because women do not necessarily open up even to each other when it comes to like their finances, what they do with their money. So when everything comes crashing, like, oh, I was doing this, Yes, Ibinabo, 30 seconds.
Okay, thank you. See, um, if you are dating,
Mm,
you have to look out for that kindred spirit between the two of you.
mm,
People don't look out for that. All they look out for is how does he peck me? How does he kiss me? How does he pamper me? There's something about kindred spirit when it comes to everything that has to do with values and your future. And also, you should endeavor to bounce ideas off each other and watch out for pretentious responses and submissions. A lot of times we don't get to do it. And I don't know, but in response to something that Buki said, she said, this kind of a thing when you support a man and then he ends up you end up disappointing you and all of that, or you end up not getting married and all of that. That it wasn't happening much in those days. My sister, it did happen. Now the ability to gather the statistics, no easy. Tools were not available much then. Now we have enough tools to gather information and gather all the statistics. People have always been as bad as this. You will help them with your money as a lady, and eventually you have had stories of people who would even steal their parents' money, which is very bad, and give to a boyfriend to travel abroad to school. And then he will get there and then he will begin to perceive her as being below his standard. So all of these things are happening. Women, shine your eyes. Don't just be too desperate not to see the red flag. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ibinabo. Thank you very much, Buki. Do have a wonderful day. I mean, always a pleasure having you on the show. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Esther. Welcome back.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Buki. And there we have it. It is a wrap on Panorama this morning. Do well to join us again tomorrow at 5 minutes past 9 as we bring you the ladies from different geopolitical zones. Up next is Radio Doctor at 10 with Miracle Philip. My name is Esther Alaribi. Good morning.
To sponsor this program, call the number 0816 480 7613.
Guy, we all dey see all this airtime, credit and data buy for this cashless weather.
That's nothing now. Them no dey call me Bobo Digital for nothing. When that cash dey my hand or no dey, that's why I just dey buy airtime, credit and data straight from my bank account. Thanks to Glow Top Up.
The same Glow Top Up.
Thanks now. Easy top up directly from my bank account. No stress, no wahala.
Eh? So you mean say person no need worry about not having cash?
At all. If you don't get cash, you don't get wahala. You are welcome to cashless recharge on the go, anytime, anywhere.
Buy data and airtime directly from your bank account with Glow Top Up. It is easy, quick, and available on your mobile app.